Evolution teaches that bacteria were one of the first life forms to evolve from chemicals. Many bacteria propel themselves with a type of miniature motor called a flagellum. These extremely efficient reversible motors rotate up to 100,000 revolutions per minute. While bacteria are small, they are not simple.
Dig to reveal the roots of technology. Dig to separate truth from mythology. Dig to unveil a modern day mystery.
This could change the course of human history.
Dig to reveal the roots of technology. Dig to separate truth from mythology. Dig to unveil a modern day mystery.
This could change the course of human history.
Have you heard of the flagellum? A natural engine powered by a proton medium. It's a motorized bacterium that rotates up to 100,000 RPM. That's rotations per minute, and it can instantly reverse. We make nothing equivalent. 1/1,000,000th of an inch in diameter. Everything man-made is inferior to the superior technology. See the handiwork of God in molecular biology. Irreducibly complex. If any one part's removed, it would not exist. Analogous to a mousetrap, it cannot snap without corresponding parts that react. No transition could survive transformation. Mutations gain no genetic information. Dig to reveal the roots of technology. Dig to separate truth from mythology. Dig to unveil a modern day mystery.
This could change the course of human history.
Dig to reveal the roots of technology. Dig to separate truth from mythology. Dig to unveil a modern day mystery.
This could change the course of human history.
Speak the language of genetic code. Explore the program sequence of the human genome. More impressive and perplexing than expected. Like hieroglyphics read by a dyslexic. Can we understand the brains and the dynamics? Train a dog to be an auto mechanic, because that's a good analogy. Never begin to imagine all the depths of His Majesty. Created instantly and magically. Through what is made, we examine divine ingenuity. From the hands of the Most High, from the land to the sea to the ends of the skies. It boggles minds what cannot be seen with the naked eye, like the gyroscopes in a housefly. Let's biomimic these agilities and make a jet plane that flies with the same capabilities. Dig to reveal the roots of technology. Dig to separate truth from mythology. Dig to unveil a modern day mystery.
This could change the course of human history.
Dig to reveal the roots of technology. Dig to separate truth from mythology. Dig to unveil a modern day mystery.
This could change the course of human history.
Read my DNA sequence. If you can, then you understand I'm programmed to bring this. Take a trip inside my helix. As I guide you, we spiral through this beat from genetics. Stick to your brain like the surface of a gecko foot. Reverberate and pulsate like an echo would. Predestinated protoplasm. Breathing bionics, atomic particles vibrate and spasm. Harness the power of electrons to microscope out the proof. Analyze like Jimmy Neutron. Curious Homo sapien. Observe this world through the eyes of an alien. Moving like robotic automatons. Designed like Robotron. We are mechanical phenomenons. Dig to reveal the roots of technology. Dig to separate truth from mythology. Dig to unveil a modern day mystery.
This could change the course of human history.
Dig to reveal the roots of technology. Dig to separate truth from mythology. Dig to unveil a modern day mystery.
If you have a complex, multi-part biochemical machine, the argument is that evolution can't produce it because the individual parts have no function of their own. That's what irreducible complexity means. So natural selection can't make this, doesn't have any function. Can't make that, can't make that. Therefore, you can't evolve a structure.
Good evening, everybody. I'm digging this music, man. Destiny Lab, if you guys haven't checked them out, you need to go check them out. DestinyLab.com. You can buy all their music there. I have bought it all myself, and every song is just as good as the one you just heard. So, good evening. Let's get this call underway here. I don't know who all's going to be on. I hollered at Dave just a little bit ago. I'm going to go ahead and hit his phone and see if he answers. J-Rod's over across the pond. He's beating my door off trying to get on the show, so he's coming on. And I don't see Vaughn lit. Let's try Lance. I haven't heard back from Lance, but we'll try to get him on there. All right. So that's 3 calls going out, ring-a-dingy. There's David. Good evening, David.
How you doing?
Not too shabby. About you, man? Is it getting cold up there? Because it's cold down here tonight.
It's been cold here for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah. You already asshole deep in snow?
We ain't got any snow yet.
No snow? Well, that's good.
Just a lot of cold.
Yeah. It kind of sucks having the cold winds and all that, and you don't have snow on the ground because it's like there's not really any
Every
reason
time I
for it to be
take my dog out, man, I got to bundle up. Your face will just freeze.
cold. Yeah. What's the temp right now?
It's in the probably it's a little bit warmer tonight. It's probably the upper 20s, lower 30s right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting down into the 30s tonight here. And then
But we got
for-
that north wind blowing like 10, 15 miles an hour, so it feels colder.
It was windy all day today here. I've heard reports of shingles coming off people's houses and trees falling down into power lines and all that shit. And that's why Lori's not on tonight because her power went out. Evidently they got storms and all kinds of crap through there today, rain.
Oh yeah, there's parts of Illinois that got the snow was coming down.
Yep. I saw reports of tornadoes in Tennessee and Kentucky and Alabama, and so evidently there was a pretty nasty front that went through the east. Blame Canada, everybody. Blame Canada. It's that time of the year. What's up, JR? JR?
Test 1 2.
Test 1 2. There it is. There he is.
Cheers, great, excellent. It's working.
All
Excellent. I'm just using a cheap Chinese USB
Yeah.
sound card thing.
Hey.
And it works great.
It works. Yeah.
Excellent, nice one. I'm happy about that. I'm okay, thank you. And hi, Dave. And
What's up,
hello
Gerald?
hi, and hello to everybody in the chat room as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And how are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing all right. I went out
Good,
to
good.
went over to some friend's house this evening for a little bit before the show and hung out and talked and made another customer. So I got some knives to do tomorrow and return. And so yeah, it was a good evening.
Excellent.
Getting my house in order. Everything's getting squared away. Donated probably 300 pounds of mom's clothes to the local donation place here. Donation station is what they call it. Yeah, so they were extremely happy. 4 huge garbage bags full of clothes. Not just garbage bags, 55-gallon drum liners. So big bags.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, man. There was a plane crashed into a helicopter yesterday over Rothschild Estate there in Birminghamshire or something like that.
Yeah.
What's the latest? Who got killed?
According to certain media, one of the Rothschilds, I think it's Jacob Rothschild, was involved in it and was killed. But
Nope, I don't.
I don't buy that personally. But
that was something that hit the YouTubes and the Twitters right after it happened. They were like, "Oh, it crashed on a Rothschild estate, so hopefully he's dead."
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit, take it with a pinch of salt. Okay.
Right.
Personally, I don't think that's correct.
No.
But there's only one person being named so far, and his name is somebody called Green, Mike Green, I think.
Mike Green.
And he's a helicopter pilot who's been a person who's been tutoring people on how to fly helicopters and whatnot, and he's had a long distinguished career of 30 years. So
was it him?
It's unusual for it to happen that way. I'm not saying there's no conspiracy or there is a conspiracy tied to it. Say it could be down to weather conditions and stuff like that. Okay, and it could be just a natural accident, and it's coincidental it happened on the doorstep of the Rothschilds.
The thing that I find very coincidental is that 30 miles from the airport that they both took off from, 30 miles away, that those two would be in the same 200-foot span of open air. I don't know. It's just the whole thing seems hinky. I mean, when you hear of planes colliding, they're usually right over the airport because that's where they're in a holding pattern or whatever, and they're stacked on top of one another. For it to be that far away from the airport to begin with, that sent up a red flag right off the bat. So,
well, when I heard it was right on the doorstep of the Rothschilds, that sort of went ding ding.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they made sure to let everybody know in the media that the house was no longer run by the Rothschilds. It was donated to some kind of trust thingy or whatever, and it's very sparsely staffed. Right, there's just a couple of people there to take care of the property. There's nobody living in the place, but it's where Trump had a big ass party last year. Yeah.
Well, did you see a picture of that place, Jimmy? It's got the big all-seeing eye in the back.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking huge, too. Yeah.
Yeah, talked about it on my show last night. We showed a picture of it, and it shows right in the very back of the place a huge all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
And then it's got X's right on each side of it and everything, and it's like made out of flowers and it's designs and it's crazy looking, man.
We all know who they worship, man. We all know that they worship Lucifer. So,
well, it's like I said, if the person doesn't believe in the Illuminati, you know that they do exist, and that picture proved it yesterday. We talk about the all-seeing eye and stuff, and I mean it's right in their on their property, in their back of their mansion.
Yep. So it's still all up in the air as to what exactly happened. The NTSB or whatever your guys' equivalent over there, the National Transportation Safety Board. The air marshals, whatever, they all still investigating. They get the place cordoned off still.
Yeah, it's also cordoned off. They're still investigating. Being it's in a wooded area, it's a little difficult to sort out. But if there were any survivors, the best place for it to crash, especially a helicopter, is in trees, because the trees were cushioned before. So
yeah, there's still that. The fall doesn't really hurt you; it's the sudden stop at the end of it that's what really does the damage.
The bang.
So yeah, but when two aircraft collide in the air like that, especially small aircraft, like they were reporting, one of them was a 2-seater Piper Cub, the plane that hit. So those things come apart really, really easy. So I'm imagining that it came down into the ground in pieces. Don't think they had much of a chance to auto-rotate out of it or anything. I don't know.
Quite possibly. Anyway, it's still okay to say hello to Laurie.
Hello, Laurie. Did you get your power back on?
It's for a minute. Hello, peoples.
So
Hello.
You've been getting rain and storms through there all day?
Oh, the wind is just unreal.
Yeah, it's been blowing pretty good here, too. Cold stuff. Canadian stuff. So, yeah.
I can't wait. Give me snow. Give me snow.
You might regret saying that in a couple of weeks.
Nah, I never.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
Never will I regret that.
We'll see.
I hate snow.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't hate it.
Snow sucks, man.
I don't hate snow. I hate the cold that goes along
I
with
hate
it.
having to go through like 4 feet of it with with snow blower and stuff. You can't do it. It's hard as hell.
Oh, fuck that
1
shit.
centimeter
I'm
is
just
not
going
for
to
me.
stay inside.
When it's being 30 below zero outside.
I didn't say that. I just said snow.
Winter sucks. I hate winter.
Snow would be awesome if it could come around when it's like 75. 75 and a sunny day with some snow on the ground, that would be awesome, because then it'd be fun as hell to go out and play in the four-wheeler, and you wouldn't have to be all bundled up and stuff. So
There's some places you can go to get that.
yeah, true. They make the snow on the mountains. All right, back to the Rothschild plane crash thingy. What are your thoughts on it, David?
Like I said, I don't know. It could have been an accident. Who knows? I don't know who was on either one of the aircraft, so, maybe I could form a better opinion if I knew who was on them.
Right.
If it was just a bunch of nobodies, probably an accident. I mean, if it was the CEO of a company or something else, then that could be something a little bit different.
True.
I just like to know who was on there. They probably won't say. Who knows? Or maybe they will down the road.
They will, yeah, but it's a bit strange. Normally they would... what they said on the news report is they took the families down to the scene, so the families know that the deceased are, gone, and so they've taken them down to the scene. They've shown them the area, So, but they're not letting out names yet, which is a bit unusual. So, see, normally they would let out names to the media.
That's another, sends up the red flag. Why don't they release the names? If it was just a trainer and a trainee in the helicopter and a couple in the, what's the big secret? So
exactly.
I don't know.
If it was Joe Blogs,
can a Rothschild actually die?
No, I don't. They haven't said anything yet, so I don't know.
I mean, can they physically? Can they actually physically die?
Can they die? Well, I don't know. It depends on how many babies you eat, I reckon.
Oh my God. Exactly. There's a whole
those people are fucking creepy, man. They are fucking creepy. So.
Yeah, they have cakes actually made of babies on their table at parties. I've seen the pictures. It's crazy.
Well, just a picture of Evelyn de Rothschild he looks like a fucking soul sucker. You know what I mean? The character.
I mean, they all do. Soros and all of them.
Oh yeah.
Rothschilds.
Kissinger,
I mean, all those old, supposedly Illuminati family fuckers.
Yeah. Prince Charles. Prince Charles is a creepy looking sumbitch. They're all of them. But Evelyn de Roth, I mean, the Mr. Burns character from The Simpsons, they nailed that shit right on the fucking head, man. He looks just like Evelyn Rothschild. So that was, I don't know. Let's see what Hunt say. Maybe the crash was staged so that the Rothschilds can take off to their secret island hideaway. Maybe, but you'd think that if they were going to stage this event, they would have turned the names loose right away.
Yeah.
Oh my God, one of the Rothschilds died in a helicopter crash today, flying back to his palatial estate. But see, that's another thing. There's no Rothschilds on that estate. They don't stay there.
It's owned by the National Trust now.
The Rothschild National Trust. Yeah, but it's still nobody stays there. It's just like one of their weekend homes, if you will.
Yeah, well, so yeah, a bit like Balmoral is to the Queen.
Right.
Okay, in Scotland.
Right. So I don't know what to think about it. I thought it was kind of interesting watching all the shit happen yesterday when it happened, and but everything went hush hush on it too quickly for me. And the fact that
it's a bit strange.
I'm still sticking to the fact that those two aircraft being in the same spot in the sky, 30 miles away from the airport, just didn't ring solid to me for some reason. I don't know why. But
what they also said is air traffic control in that area
very
is
understaffed.
Not normally manned due to the cost cuts in the UK and austerity. They've not been able to fund a full manned team on that air traffic control.
That doesn't matter. You can still, there's airports over here in the U.S. where they don't have a tower. Everybody just talks on the radio. They let everybody else know where they're at in the sky, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. And also, being it was a two-seater Cessna, right, which is basically a private little farty thing that flies about, and also a helicopter, your eyeballs can be your radar, can't they? You can actually see a helicopter and take evasive maneuvers.
That's what I mean. It's just unless the plane was underneath and they one of them lifted up into the other one or something. I don't know. I'm just not buying it for now.
No, it's strange. It's very weird. So it's not every day you hear an aeroplane flying into a helicopter.
Yeah. All right, moving on now. We're 20 minutes into the show already, so let's jump over to Dave's desk and see what he's got in his big stack of stuff.
I think this was pretty big today. Top nuclear commander for United States here came out and said he wouldn't carry out an illegal nuclear strike order from Trump today. And he comes straight out and said it in a big interview. He says
he'll be caught up in some kind of gambling scandal or pedophilia thing or something. Watch, they'll out him. They'll get him out of there. Unless, I don't know, the whole right hates Trump, so maybe they're doing all this shit to set him up for whatever. I don't know. But go ahead.
Well, it says the top nuclear commander in the U.S. said Saturday he would refuse an order to conduct a nuclear strike from President Trump if he thought the launch was illegal. And this was General John Hyten, commander of the U.S. Strategic Command. He said this at the Halifax International Security Forum in Nova Scotia. He said that he would tell Trump he wouldn't carry out an illegal strike.
Damn, he was out of the country when he said it? Oof.
Yep, he says, and if it's illegal, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to say, Mr. President, that's illegal. And guess what he's going to do? He's going to say what would be illegal. And what else? He says, and we'll come up with options with a mix of capabilities to respond to whatever the situation is, and that's just the way it works. It's not that complicated. So basically, if this general thinks that the order Trump gives him to strike isn't good enough, he's just going to ignore it and go to a different option.
Damn it, man! I wonder if
He
they're going
to come right out and said it, dude. That's
I wonder
crazy.
if he's going to make it. If he's even going to make it back to the U.S. Could they charge him with treason for speaking like that against the?
I have no idea, dude. But I'm glad he's standing up. I'm glad we got some military guys standing up, man.
Yeah, true. But usually they wind up under the bus.
Well, I don't know. Maybe this guy just figured he's just going to say what's on his mind regardless. And as a veteran, I salute that, man.
Right.
It doesn't matter who the president is. If the military thinks that it's a wrong move, they should have overrule, I think.
I saw just before coming on the show that another one of our boats got bumped.
Yeah, by a Japanese tugboat that lost its propulsion.
Still, I don't understand why they can't put our boats in reverse or anything and get out of the way of another ship headed toward them. That boggles me, man.
It does.
With all the radar shit, these boats are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, man, and all the fucking electronics they've got on them, state of the art shit, and they fucking get holes poked in them by other boats. I just don't get it, man. I really don't. I'll be right back.
Dave, I think that's your cue to keep talking. Can I give you some intro music? Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I guess you got that. And, I've been kind of watching this thing. This Argentinian sub went missing with 44 guys on it.
I thought it was 64.
Yeah. And they're trying to find it.
I thought it was 64 men. I thought they said it had 64 men on board.
44.
44 crew members.
All right.
And it says that those guys may be alive. And it said the vessel tried to communicate via satellite on Saturday as the search mission was underway in the stormy South Atlantic. They've got our military, we've got our sub hunters in the sky looking forward to helping them out. I think these guys are dead, man. This happened, yesterday, and they didn't find it. I don't know how much oxygen they got on a sub, but I think that thing's sunk.
How could they make a satellite communication if they're not on the surface?
I don't know.
Because I know that, when they do the underwater radio waves or whatever, they got to drag a mile-long antenna behind the boat to even get out when they're underwater. So if they made some kind of satellite communication, you think that thing would be on the surface?
Well, maybe it is. I don't think they're alive, though, myself.
Where was it when it went down? In the Pacific?
Yeah, yesterday. There were some reports there was a fire in one of the engine rooms.
Mark said they just got a ping on that sub like 2 hours ago, he said.
Yeah, it had been missing for 2 days previously to being reported yesterday. So it's been missing now for 72 hours.
That don't sound good. Unless they took off and went somewhere and docked it up. And why would you do that from Argentina, though? I mean, they're not, I don't know.
Like I said, they got our airplanes in the sky looking for it, and I think we're fixing to send a ship or something that way.
Yikes.
What made me sick was, after reading that report, are all the comments from the Brits, saying, good, I hope they're dead and all those. I thought, good God, okay, we had the Falkland Islands and Argentina were our enemy, but there again, we aren't at war now, so they're not our enemy. Okay, they're still after the Falkland Islands, but still. There's no need to, if it's an accident, we should be going out and helping them, not,
Yeah.
saying good they're dead and stuff like that, which is ridiculous.
Yep. It's horrible, man. Everything on this planet's just horrible right now.
I know, yeah. I understand that.
If you're so inclined to pray for those sailors, pray for them. Hope that they're okay. Hope they get found. Man, that's something I could never do. I couldn't be a subber. I could not be a U-boat guy. No way. No freaking way.
Yeah, I had a couple friends on those things, and I'd go over there and check it out. And you couldn't get me to go down in the water on one of them things, man. It's just I got claustrophobia, and as soon as I got down inside that thing, I'm like, man, it's bigger on the inside than what you think it is, but it wouldn't be cool, man. If you got claustrophobia or
I couldn't. I couldn't fathom myself. I mean, I scuba dive, so I'm not scared to go underwater or anything like that, but I couldn't be a mile underwater. No way, man. Not stuck in a tube of steel with no. Crush. There's the crush factor. And if you're that deep, if you're that deep and some shit goes wrong, think about those guys that are on the boat right now. If something goes wrong and you can't get back to the surface, brother, it's all over but the crying. Fuck all that. It would be everything I could do right now to go out on a big boat on the water, just knowing what I know about rogue waves and all that shit.
Just think if you're on a nuclear sub and the reactor malfunctioned or something.
Nope.
That'd be scary, man. Have some kind of nuclear accident undersea like that.
Yeah. Couldn't get me on one of them things. Never. Maybe a little one-man sub, where I was the only one in charge and, knew everything that was going on or whatever. But no, not to put my hands in somebody else's. Nope.
Tell you what, our subs were really active in World War II, man.
There was I can't think of the name of the movie. It wasn't Red October. It was another one where they were, the Americans stole a German sub or something like that, and they were taking it, they're trying to get back. But anyway, they started to go underwater, and one of the guys in the back of the boat took a string and taped it on one side of the sub, and then walked over to the other side of the sub and taped it and the string was taut. And by the time they got down to depth where they were going to run around, that string had a big old sag in it. Now, I know it was a movie, but I also know that that's real. Those things crush when they go. I mean, they're designed to shrink from the pressure of the water without collapsing. Yep. So I just couldn't. No, thank you.
U571.
U57, that's it right there. Thanks, Bubba. Mark Aaron says, the abyss. Yeah, fuck that shit. Yeah, I scuba dive hobo. It's awesome. It's awesome. If you ever get a chance to do it, do it. It's awesome. You see some cool ass shit underwater, man. Especially when you're in the ocean. That's where all the colorful stuff is. That's where all the really bright fishies are. It's awesome, dude. If you ever get a chance to do it, try it out.
I like fish.
I'd be too worried of sharks.
Sharks won't hurt you.
They don't fuck with you, man. The whole Jaws movies, sharks don't go out of their way to come at you unless they're super fucking hungry, right? Or if you're on a surfboard and you look like a seal from down below.
Exactly.
Then, I can imagine they'd probably fuck with you then, too.
I mean, I've always liked watching people do it, but I don't know if I could do it, man. I'd be like, knowing my luck, I'd find a hungry shark somewhere.
No, nah. There's places down in Florida you can go down there and feed them. They just take a big bunch of people out, go down to the bottom with a big bucket, box full of chum, and everybody gets a skewer, and you stab one of them pieces and feed the sharks when they're swimming by. They don't fuck.
If they get into a frenzy or something. We're over by the Horn of Africa. There was all kinds of sharks over there swimming around our boat.
Yeah. Was it the Indianapolis? They said that they lost over half of the crew to sharks when that boat went down.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yep. Snorkeling is fun, Lori said. Just don't burn your bum. What's up, Angus? You're not going out until I'm done with the show, buddy. Sorry. Okay, moving on to the next story. What else you got on your stack over there, man?
This just came out. They're evacuating parts of Miami International Airport over suspicious item.
Uh-oh.
Where?
Yeah, it's probably somebody
just came out right now.
Somebody left their pressure cooker.
That or it's usually just a piece of trash or something stupid.
Or somebody just forgot a bag, or they see one going around on the carousel for more than 30 minutes and they're like, oh my God, it's a bomb.
Yeah, they do got people that watch them things. I've seen a thing on that. That's their job, is they watch the carousels to see how many time a bag goes around.
Yep. See if, when all the people walk away, if there's still one going around, nobody claimed it. Yeah, it's a suspicious package.
Yeah, they really do got people that do that.
Yep.
That's a TSA job.
So okay, what's this about Trump closing down the Palestinian DC office or something, one of their embassies over here?
He threatened to close it down.
Over
because
what?
Of lack of cooperation, and the Palestinian PLO came out today and said, if you do that, then we'll never talk to you again. You'll be an untrustworthy partner in any peace deal.
I mean, what got under his skin in the first place? Non-cooperation.
I don't know why Trump's doing this. I have no idea, man.
The only people we cooperate with over there is Israel by giving them tons of fucking money.
Israel's putting a lot of, I think Netanyahu and Israel and
Netanyahu's about ready to go to jail. They got him dead to rights on bribery charges, and his fucking wife got bribery charges. He's ready to go to jail.
Prison.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. I wonder who he's going to snitch
just
on.
Investigating Netanyahu for the 5th time.
Yeah. That's what I wonder who he's going to snitch on, man. Who he's going to start.
His wife's already been busted for abusing a maid at her house, and all that corruption and other shit. Yeah,
stealing money from some fund. She was trying to raise money to help, orphan kids or something like that, and she wound up embezzling the money.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a piece of shit, just like her husband.
I have an idea.
He's another one of them baby-eating motherfuckers. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I have an idea that it might be down to the fact that the PLO are in talks with Hamas, or have agreed to form a joint coalition with Hamas. And at the moment, what with Saudi Arabia and Iran having to go at each other, Hamas are supported by Iran. So any influence on Iran with the PLO would probably upset the Israelis and their possible negotiation. So
quit, you guys.
I have an idea. It might be something to do with Hamas.
It could be too.
Mark said the Awan brothers, maybe, but they're Saudi. They're not Palestinian. They're Saudi.
So see, there's a lot of shit going on over in that area called the Middle East at the moment, and especially with Saudi Arabia and Iran.
Hariri, the ex-prime minister of Lebanon here, the one that resigned in Saudi, he finally left Saudi. What's weird about this is when he gave that interview the other day, he said, I'll be back to Lebanon by Wednesday or Thursday. And then all of a sudden,
he goes to Paris.
He goes to France. And I've been watching this. The president of France was meeting with Saudi and Kushner when all this stuff went down. So this is a France, Saudi, America, Israel thing going on right now.
So you think Hariri's like playing both sides of the coin, or do you think he's?
No, he's working for us. And the deal is that no one can figure this out, how he ended up in France. And because he said he was going straight to Beirut, and Saudi wants to prove that he's not, being held captive, but he is being held captive by Saudi.
Oh yeah, either that or they were having a late night showing of chocolat or something. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, it was awful strange that the parliament over in Lebanon wanted him to come back immediately, and he said, "Okay, I'm on my way," and then the plane just kind of went to France.
Yeah.
I think Lebanon is a French enclave, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they're allies. Lebanon's allies with France too, and America. We both armed the Lebanese army over there.
Imagine that.
We had Palestine, which we carved up to make Israel.
But what's up with this Hariri? No one knows for sure. It came out a little bit yesterday that he might try to seek asylum there, and then it came out where France says no, he hasn't even asked for asylum here. So something's up, man. There's something dirty going on behind the scenes, and this has got to do with Saudi and Iran fighting each other, and Israel and Hezbollah. Israel's got a major drill starting over by the Golan Heights here in a few hours, and
cool.
They shot tank shells this morning at the Syrian army across the border over there.
As a warning shot.
Yeah,
they're gonna drop a 20-pound fucking 20-pound shell on them as a warning shot. Yeah. Okay.
I think I think we're leading up to it. I think you're gonna see Saudi, Israel, and Iran and Hezbollah.
Oh yeah.
It's coming, and this Hariri plays a big part of it. He's a pawn in this whole game.
Isn't Hariri a Saudi anyway?
Yeah, he's a dual citizen.
He's dual.
He's a citizen of Lebanon. He's a citizen of Saudi.
But he was born in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he was born in Saudi.
All right, what else you got, man?
What else? I thought this was interesting. This came out today. It says Trump starts paying his own legal bills on Russian probe. It says his attorneys today, the RNC was paying its whole legal fee, and all of a sudden the RNC said we're not paying it anymore.
For who?
And so Trump has to turn to his own money now for lawyers.
So what? Guy's got fucking money falling out his ass.
No,
why we shouldn't have to cover that shit anyway.
Yeah, the RNC. I didn't know that till I read this story. The RNC's been covering all of his legal fees to do with this Russia stuff.
That's man. They need to get a refund because there is no Russia stuff. How many fucking people got to come out and say there ain't no Russia stuff before the media will get that? They just keep throwing shit at the wall, hoping something's going to stick to it, and it's getting old, man. It's old hat. What was it? George Takei, the fucking queer pedo fag from Star Trek, said that Russia was the ones that put out the pedo shit on him. Come on, man. Give me a fucking... God, oh, my.
That sounded just like him.
Yeah, it was freaky, that was.
Yeah, I can channel people sometimes.
Oh, my God.
All right. Off with their heads.
I think Jimmy boldly went where no person should have gone.
Right. Okay, what we got next?
I think the big story I forgot, man. Planet X is supposed to hit tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Lori said something about that on her Facebook thing I saw on Twitter. She had some kind of post. Lori, where's the rock at now? Are they tracking it?
I think she's hung up.
No, she's still on there, has she? Isn't she? Oh, shit, she's gone. Well, she's typing in the room, so she'll hear me in about 30 seconds.
They're saying there's supposed to be like apocalyptic quakes tomorrow throughout the world.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something, dude. I've been watching my iPad off and on today, and I bet you there's probably 20 plus 5.0s or bigger that hit just today. All over the world, all different places like Chile, and all different places, but they're all over 5 magnitude. So... we're going through some changes here, man. We've been talking about it for a long, long time. The weather and stuff.
It's changing, Jimmy. It's all changing. So, see, Luke, we've been taking shit out of the planet for a long time. It needs to adapt, and it doesn't like what we're doing.
There's some scientists, but I read an article, I think, yesterday or the day before that said that there were scientists that were saying that the Earth in 2018 we can expect more apocalyptic shit happening, earthquakes and volcanoes and stuff. Because the Earth's rotation is slowing.
Yeah. And no, but also it's changing on its axis as well slightly.
The Earth's flat, brother.
Okay. I'm not saying anymore.
Look, man, if you trust some jerk-off scientist that's never been out in outer space in his entire fucking life and over your senses when you walk outside, then I don't know what to tell you, When you walk outside and you stand there, you know we ain't spinning. We ain't spinning. The Earth's flat, and it don't spin.
Okay.
So there's that. But anyway. Oh, let's see. Mark says it's all HRC in Russia. Whatever they do, they blame on Trump or whoever. It's disgusting. And then he says, really, dang signs. The sky is totally weird right now. I'll tell you what. 2 days ago, I woke up at about 6 o'clock in the morning. My dogs woke me up because they had to go outside and piss. So I got to watch the sunrise because I couldn't go back to sleep. And it was so red. I was shocked. I was shocked at how red the sky was. It was incredible. The colors were just incredible. But there's that old wives' tale that says red in the morning, sailor's warning, red at night, sailor's delight, right? We didn't have no bad weather that day. That sunrise was red, blood red. But it was a beautiful day that day. We didn't have any bad weather ever, anywhere. Go ahead.
How about that time when the UK had that storm? I think it was storm. I don't know. I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Anyway, I forget now. But the whole of the sky in the UK went orange, bright orange.
Yeah.
The whole day, and it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It was really, really freaky and spooky. The whole day, the whole area of the UK went orange.
There's a lot of biblical
Bright
shit happening
orange.
right now, man. I'm telling you. There's a lot of biblical shit going on right now.
That was because, I'll tell you why, because the actual weather system was coming down from the Azores all the way up, and it was dragging, they had wildfires in Portugal, and also it was dragging sand from the Sahara, and the smoke from the wildfires and the sand from the Sahara in this weather system was causing a very strange effect in the sky, which does happen. It does happen. So I've seen it many a time.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never properly witnessed it for a full day. And the actual light was really, really weird. It was strange.
Yeah. What's that place that's got the deadly fog? The deadly smog hanging around here?
That's in India.
India. Bangladesh. That's right, Bangladesh. And they've been dealing with that over in China forever, right? I mean, the Chinese guys walk around with the masks on all the time because you can't see shit in Beijing either. So, I don't know. Mark said that's what he thinks too, biblical. It's biblical. Hey, man, truth doesn't give a shit what you believe, brother. All this stuff that we're seeing happen right now has been prophesied for thousands of years. So you can
it does, yes. I know it does.
Poo-poo it if you want to.
I'm not saying I did. I'm not saying I disbelieve it. Okay? Did I say disbelieve it?
No, but I heard you go or something like that.
No, I said, well, Yeah, I am a person that likes to look on things and question everything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm open-minded.
I question everything too, except my faith.
I don't disbelieve flat earth.
I'm
open-minded.
The one thing I don't question is my faith.
Exactly. Well, that's one thing I don't question either. And one thing I don't do about my faith is portray it on anybody else.
No, me neither. I speak my own thing. This is my show. I just say what I want to say, right? I'm not trying to push it on anybody. I'm just telling you, everybody better get ready.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, cool. Yeah.
All right, let's slide on to something else here. I want to pull this up. This is something that Drudge Report just dropped about an hour ago. So evidently, Harvey Weinstein, the scumbag pedophile out of Hollywood, Hollyweird, had a hit list of 91 people at different firms and studios, and a hit list that he was going to have them all clipped to try to squash all the accusations against him.
Nice chap.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to read this, just a little bit of it.
Okay.
The Observer has gained access to a secret hit list of almost 100 prominent individuals targeted by Harvey Weinstein in an extraordinary attempt to discover what they knew about the sexual misconduct claims against him and whether they were intending to go public. The previously undisclosed list contains a total of 91 actors, publicists, producers, and financiers, and others working in the film industry, all of whom Weinstein allegedly identified as part of a strategy to prevent accusers from going public with sexual misconduct claims against him. The names apparently drawn up by Weinstein himself were distributed to a team hired by the film producer to suppress claims that he had sexually harassed or assaulted numerous women. And we all know from the story that dropped a couple days ago, or like last week sometime, that the agency that he hired was known as Black Cube. Strange, huh? And it was just a handful of Mossad agents, or former Mossad agents, or whatever. The document was compiled earlier this year, around 9 months before the storm that blew up on 5 October when the New York Times published a series of sexual harassment allegations against Weinstein. Individuals named on the list were to be targeted by investigators who would covertly extract and accumulate information from those who might know of claims or who might come forward with allegations against the film producer. Feedback was then to be relayed to Weinstein and his lawyers. Nah, I'm not going to keep going. I don't want to give this dude any more airtime than he needs. You're going to jail, Harvey. Bye-bye.
Yeah, but the question is, how many people is he going to take with him?
I hope a ton. I hope that he snitches on everybody that he knows.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope he snitches on everybody. And I hope they all meet the gallows. Because just sitting in a fucking cell for 25 years or whatever, that don't cut it. That don't cut it. When you're a pedophile, you need to be eliminated. You no longer need to draw oxygen out of my atmosphere. Bye-bye. That's just my opinion. And I know it's not the right way to but whatever. Okay. Your thoughts on the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, David?
I don't know. Like I said, he's a scumbag, But there's millions of them out there in Hollywood.
Yeah, all of them. I'm guessing just about all of them.
And DC too. It's just as freaking bad.
We talked about that last week, or on Wednesday. This pedophile thing, this sexual harassment thing, this human trafficking thing, because it's all tied together, right? It's going to reach out and snatch a bunch of motherfuckers up by the short hairs.
Well,
it's going to go through Washington, D.C.
with them coming out with that picture and stuff. Some people are trying to say that was staged. I don't know. What do you know?
Stuart Smalley needs to go home to Minnesota and bury his fucking head. I couldn't stand the fucking guy on SNL. I think he's half a fag. I think he's always been a half a fag. The fact that he made it to the United States Senate speaks volumes of the idiocy in Minnesota. Anyway, they elected Jesse Ventura for shit's sake. Whatever.
Yeah, that was a big mistake for them. Man.
Whatever. I can't stand Al Franken. I can't stand looking at the fucking guy. I'd like to punch his teeth out. And I tweeted 2 days before the story dropped on him, because he came out with something that said that he wanted to be able to dig into everybody's electronic background on their computers or whatever. He was trying to pass some kind of legislation for that. And I said, look, man, what I do in my off time is none of your fucking business, Stuart. And the Hollywood scandal, the pedophilia scandal, it's going to come get you too. So just sit down. Sit down and go pound sand. Something to that effect. That wasn't the whole tweet, but you know what I mean. Something to that effect. Naturally, Twitter took it down about 2 hours later. I'm just hoping that he got to see it, because then 48 hours later, bam, right in his face. I'm not saying that I'm a prophet or anything like that. You can just see that shit coming a mile away, right? Everybody sees that coming. It's going to grab up everybody. Everybody that's in the Senate, everybody that's in Congress. You guys are all dirty, or you wouldn't be where you're at. And it's going to the House of Sod, right? Who's the fucking cat that had the white paper released on him that said that he was renting children from Djibouti and Malawi and you know what? Okay, it's going to go everywhere. It's going to go everywhere.
They tried that in the UK with Ted Heath, and
nobody ever said fuck all about Jimmy Savile, man. You know?
I know, yeah, but it's the same thing though.
Not until after he was dead, and still, even after he was dead, they just kind of went, "Oh yeah, he fucked kids in the ass. So what?"
I know. It's I suppose in the hierarchy of the UK establishment, it's it's a well-known thing to do that.
They sacrifice children. Yeah, they sacrifice them, right? What was it?
Well, a couple of, isn't it?
Wasn't it a couple of years ago? There was two kids, a brother and a sister. I think this was like 2 or 3 years ago. They got interviewed by, I want to say it was the, oh shit, I can't remember what the Camelot Project. I'm not sure if it was them or not. I'm not sure if it was them or not. But those two kids, they talked all kind. They said everything. You know, we get messed with all the time, and there's human sacrifices going on. It was like their mom and dad took them to something, and just they were there for weeks and weeks and weeks. They said it all on camera, and everybody.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. You guys got to remember that shit.
I think I've heard the actual video.
I don't know if it was Camelot Project or not, but
no, I don't think it. No, see, they normally focus on UFOs and stuff like that.
Well, they focus on all kinds of stuff, but
I know, yeah, but mainly UFOs. That's the only thing
you guys
I've
remember
seen
that
before, anyway, with Bob Dean and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy Savile was also having it off with dead bodies. Yeah, he was a necrophiliac.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah, but still, to this, I mean, why is there no uproar about it? You know, everybody that was associated with the fucking guy ought to be getting investigated, right?
Because there's a big cover-up.
They sit on their hands. No, yeah, it's a big government cover-up. You're right.
It's a big cover-up. Because if they
child sacrifices come out, yeah.
If they did investigate everybody, it would take them down to the royal family, and you cannot bring down the royal family.
Oh yeah, you will. Oh yes, they will come down. And they're not royals.
Magna Carta, blah blah. Talk about the Magna Carta. It was reported that in your Senate, there's no law against any form of molestation or anything like that.
Any form of what?
There's no law against people abusing other people. So they've got carte blanche means of doing it. I think it's Senate, or is it the... it must be the Senate. There's no law against it. It was reported on the BBC.
Oh, well, shit, if it was reported on the BBC, it's got to be true.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, though? Abusing who? Abusing the general population?
Women.
Oh, the women. Women.
No, I'm not talking about children and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. Just to clarify.
Right.
I'm talking about...
Abuse is abuse, though. Yeah.
Ladies, women. Ladies, women.
There's female senators, so I don't know where you're going with this, man. What?
Well,
there's
laws. No law against them using or abusing their power to put themselves in a higher dominant position over their female colleagues.
Oh. So...
in a sexual way, if you understand what I mean. I'm trying to be nice.
No, just say it out, dude. Just say it. What are you talking about? They can molest other women. They can molest women in the Senate and get away with it because there's no law against it?
I'll try and find the story. How's that grabbing?
But here's the thing. There's laws against rape already. So, it doesn't matter whether they're a senator or not. There's laws against that already. So, just because they don't have one written for the Senate itself doesn't mean fuck all. Because the Senate, they're not gods, right? They're just men that were elected to an office. So they're still covered by all the laws of the land, which are all unconstitutional, by the way.
Anyway, you've heard it here first from me. So.
Well, find the story. Find the story. I want to, either drop it to me and I'll read a little bit of it and see what it's about, or we'll continue on until you find the story.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. Well, so if you, Dave.
Yeah, back to you, Dave.
See here what else came out today. South Korean's defense minister came out today and says that North Korea is weaponizing the plague. It says it could weaponize it within 10 days. And what else important with that? It says the pathogen Yersinia pestis. Mm-hmm. It says it killed up to 450 million worldwide during an outbreak known during the Black Death, including 60% of everyone in Europe. And he's claiming that North Korea has manufactured this.
There's 3 kinds of plagues. There's 3 kinds of black plague. You guys know that, right? There's 3 kinds of plague.
Yeah, I knew there was different ones.
Bubonic, which is the one that killed 500,000 people. Pneumonic, which is the one that you usually pick up, in the Southwest or whatever. I think that's usually pneumonic plague or whatever. And then there's septic plague, which is a death, that you're dead. Sepsis is you're dead. But anyway, yeah, the bubonic with pneumonic plague is the one that they're dealing with down in Hoosey-Futsits, wherever they dug up their dead and started dancing around with them. That's pneumonic plague that they're getting down there. It's not the really bad one, but it's bad. I think it's killed 200 people or something down there. So I don't know, but yeah, weaponized bubonic plague. That sounds like a fun thing to do.
I said this is one of 13 agents that North Korea has the ability to weaponize within 10 days. Going right from the lab to the missile. They'll only take them 10 days to do it.
Well, he said Trump was going to pay for calling him a short fatty.
Mm-hmm. And it says pathogens stockpiled by North Korea include smallpox, anthrax, yellow fever, typhoid, cholera, and that's some of the ones that South Korea know that he's manufactured already.
That sounds like a fun list.
Yeah, I feel sorry for our troops, man, on the DMZ. Those guys are going to get hammered first.
Yeah. Well, not unless Trump gives a legal order. If it's an illegal order, they're not going to do shit. They're just going to sit there, right? That's what the General Hoosey said.
Well, he said we won't nuke them, but we'd go to other options.
Oh, other options.
Whatever those other options are.
Right. Somebody brought up Venezuela earlier, didn't they? Venezuela. Let's see. This came out today on Venezuela. It's a wake-up call for a lot of people who will say, look, the stuff I own is actually very risky, warns Ray Gian, who oversees about $6 billion at Pioneer Investment Management Limited in London. People have been ignoring risks in places like Lebanon for a long time, and the official default of Venezuela this week has emerging market money managers looking to identify countries that might run into trouble down the road, like the U.S., France, all of Europe. They're all on the brink. Let's see. Bloomberg reports that while none are nearly as bad off as Venezuela, there is a combination of low oil prices, economic mismanagement, and U.S. sanctions did the country in. Traders are scouting for credit risks from Lebanon, where Prime Minister Saad Hariri's sudden resignation has once again thrust the nation into a Saudi-Iran proxy war. To Ecuador, where the recently elected President Lenin Moreno continues to expand the debt load in a country with a history as a serial defaulter. And this story actually breaks it down by country. Here's their list. Lebanon, Ecuador, Ukraine, Egypt, Pakistan, Bahrain, and Turkey. Turkey. Imagine that. It's going to keep going, y'all. It's going to wind up here in the United States, and it's not going to take long for it to get back to us. Oh, man. Here's a drop from SGT report that just came out an hour ago. WikiLeaks website sent to Donald Trump Jr. now declares Seth Rich is the leaker. But is it a troll comment or is it legitimate? I'm telling you, man, nothing will be hidden. Everything will be out in the open before all this is said and done. There won't be any more conspiracies left to talk about because the truth is going to come out. Welcome back, JR. I hope everything came out all right.
Yeah, it sort of dribbled out, so that's fine.
Good deal. All right. Back to you, Dave. What else you got over there, man? We're an hour in. Oh, let me show my shirt. I didn't show it last week or Wednesday. Shame on me. I got this just before I went over the fence. Okie dokie. That's enough of that. David, what else you got over there, man?
Oh, man. I guess they're saying that Saad Hariri now from Lebanon is supposed to go back. He announced tonight on for their Independence Day celebrations and explain his situation, whenever that is.
That thing I'm trying to find for you, Jimmy. I can't find it just yet, but I will find it for you, and I'll leave it in Skype for you. Then you can talk about it Wednesday if needs be. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
I will find it for you, though. Okay?
Sure. Here's a little drop. What is this? Is this a... No, never mind. I'm not going to do that one.
See where Malcolm Young from AC/DC died.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, he's like 60-something years old. He had dementia for the last 2 years.
He did a lot of drugs.
64, I think.
He did a lot of drugs, man. Did a lot of drugs.
He passed away peacefully at home with his family.
No. That's one band I've seen. I've seen them 3 times.
Yeah.
I seen them back when they first came out.
They were good. Man, that's a shocker. Didn't see that one coming.
See where David Cassidy's in the hospital too.
Yeah.
Wall Street traders use chat rooms to rig treasury auctions. Federal lawsuit alleges. These fucking cats on Wall Street, man, they're stealing everybody's money. I'm telling you, I'm still telling you, if you're in cryptos, you better get out. You better get out by the end of this year, man. I don't see anything good coming from the crypto shit either. The banks are just up in arms about that, and they are going to get their control of that crypto shit and steal your money there too. Over the past several months, we followed HSBC's currency scandal involving trader Mark Johnson, who netted his firm $8 million in illicit profits by front-running a $3.5 billion client order. We frequently noted that Johnson was nothing more than a convenient scapegoat for a global financial industry that is rife with similar front-running scams that go unnoticed. That said, to our complete shock, the New York Post today highlights another front-running scam allegedly perpetrated by Wall Street's finest at the expense of their clients. According to the new documents published in a class action lawsuit filed by a number of pension funds, see, that's why this shit reaches out and touches all y'all, right? When the pension funds and stuff, it reaches out and touches all y'all. So you should kind of half-ass pay attention to this stuff. Let's see. Filed by a number of pension funds and wealthy individual investors, some of Wall Street's largest primary dealers in the U.S. Treasury market habitually and illegally shared client orders via online chat rooms in order to game Treasury auctions. The Wall Street Bank secretly shared client information in one online chat room in order to rig auctions for $14 trillion Treasury market. According to an explosive lawsuit filed in Manhattan federal court Wednesday. The move wrongfully fattened the bank's profits and picked profits from clients, the suit claims. The new accusations leveled by several pension funds and wealthy individual investors are contained in an expanded class action suit originally filed in July of 2015 and include an unusual twist. Some of the evidence came from confidential informants, and one of the banks sued in the earlier action. So, banks are turning on themselves, man. Some people just don't want to be a part of it anymore. This is why Donna Brazile came out with her book and started naming names and accusing people and trying to distance herself from all the negative, illegal shit that she did. But I hope it snatches all you people up, man. I hope it snatches you all. Anyway. Dave, what you got? What else you got over there? Tornado sirens in Nashville tonight. Mm-mm. You guys realize it's the middle of November and they're talking about tornadoes in Nashville and Kentucky?
Yeah, it's strange weather. I wouldn't mind if you want to talking about this Brexit thing that's going on in the UK.
Sure, go ahead. I'm going to go let my dogs out. I'll be right back.
Okay. Anyway. I'll just, yeah. Where's Laurie gone?
I'm listening, J-Rod. Go ahead.
Right, that's fine. Okay, anyway, once upon a time, basically, what I'm talking about with the Brexit is things are not going well, which is good. City, I like it when things don't go well, especially with the EU, because it means we will be pulling out of the Europe without a deal. In my opinion, that's excellent, because if we fall back to WTO rules, that means we will be paying tariffs to the European Union, which is a bloody darn sight cheaper than what we're paying at the moment. And a darn sight cheaper than any divorce bill, as you're talking about. So,
divorce bill.
Divorce bill, yeah. So, yeah, I was just basically saying it. And just to recap, pinch you back. We are negotiating with Europe at the moment, and it's not going very well. So, basically, what I'm saying is, if we walked away without a deal, which hopefully we will do, and I like the negotiations the way they're going at the moment, which is hopeless, and we walked away and said, Luke, go away Europe, they get nothing, we get everything. Everything, yeah. We don't pay them a penny. They lose out. We are their biggest cash cows. If we walk away and they get nothing, they will feel it. They're the ones playing hardball at the moment. And what we are doing is we're trying to negotiate somebody who is stubborn.
Right.
Or they are trying to negotiate us for more money. And we are saying no. Because the best thing... I hate the Conservative Party. I'm a Conservative person myself. But I hate the Conservative Party for... under the rule of Theresa May at the moment, okay? Because it's not what I would say a governing parliament, okay? But being as they are in Conservative as in nature, they will not give up money unless they really need to. Like they gave to the DUP to stay in power. That's different. But they will not give up money. And hopefully we're driving them for a hard bargain. Basically, we're saying to them, look, we're leaving. You want money off us. But there again, we are leaving on our terms and not yours. That's what we should be doing. Okay? I'm not sure what's happening in the background because I'm not part of the process. I'm not part of the negotiations. I'm only hearing what's in the press. So they can blow it out of proportions and they can spin it the way they want to. See, there's the left press, there's a right press, there's a middle press, there's the I am only getting what I'm hearing from the online and also the mainstream media. I cannot categorically say what's going on, but the way I would see it, the way I would do it, is being as I am the cash cow for Europe, and I am the one keeping them going, I would say to them, look, these are what we want of you, and this is what you'll get. And if you're not happy with what's there, then I'm afraid it's time to walk away. And walk away without any deal. And you will get no money, and you will miss out. Because the people of the United Kingdom have said, we want a divorce, basically. We want out, because we should never have gone in the first place. But we did, and when we did go in, it was a good idea. To have
you guys always knew you were getting back out of the EU, right? I mean, you never gave up your currency. You kept your own currency.
Exactly. We kept our own currency. We didn't go with the euro, which is the best thing we ever did.
Right. A lot of the other countries didn't, though. And then when they felt like
they're stupid.
Right. Yeah. And now they got to turn around and start the printers back up, and how they
exactly.
So.
But the main sticking point as well is not only is the money, but it's Ireland. Because we've got Northern Ireland and we've got Southern Ireland. Okay? Southern Ireland, or is part of Europe. They've got the euro. Okay? Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom. And they've got the pound sterling.
Along with Scotland.
And also the borders as well. The borders are there. If we come out of Europe, the borders between Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland will need to be sorted out because of border laws and immigration and stuff like that. Okay, because we will not be under the EU regulations for borders. We will be making our own laws when it comes to our borders as well. Okay. It's a very, very, very sticky problem. And Northern Ireland in itself hasn't got any political constitution because Stormont is gone.
Right.
Okay. There's no Stormont. At the moment, it's under the English Parliament is governing Northern Ireland. But they're not saying that, but it is.
Right.
And it's a very, very, very sticky situation. And the biggest idea of what's going to happen with the UK and Brexit, in my opinion, will be next week. Starting Monday, Theresa May will be having a meeting with the cabinet, small cabinet, because she's only got a minority government. She's not in a majority government. She's being held up by the DUP, or the Democratic Union Party in Ireland. And also there's a budget on Wednesday, the first budget since the failed June general election. So the whole of the thing, in my opinion, will play out next week. And it could be interesting to see what happens when that unfolds next week, because there's a lot more scandal, there's a lot more water to go under the bridge, and I don't think she will last until the end of this year. I can see she will certainly go down by the end of March, certainly.
She's
because
frumpy.
This Brexit will take her down.
She looks like a younger Julia Child. To me, I don't know why. When I look at her, that's all I can see. Julia Child was cool, I really liked watching her cook and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Theresa May is she's just a frumpy, snooty. I can't stand listening to her talk. I can't stand looking at her face. She thinks that she's above everybody. She thinks that her shit doesn't stink.
She's a conservative. Come on.
She's a fucking politician, period.
I know, she's a conservative politician, though.
Yeah, but still. And what the fuck is up with Boris Johnson's hair? Can somebody mail that man a comb? For real. If you're in Parliament, you jackass, comb your fucking wig.
How about Trump?
Trump pays a lot of money for his hairpiece, man.
Oh my God.
He pays a lot of money for that hair. But he
That's money
at
well
least
spent
it's
into it.
combed, for shit's sake. He doesn't look like he just rolled out of bed when he gets on camera. Has nobody said anything to Boris Johnson about his hair? I'm serious, man. He looks like
looks like he just got out of bed.
Yeah, it looks like he just woke up from a nap and decided to put a suit on.
Half the time, I think he does.
Jeez, man. I don't know, man.
Listen, it's English politics, and it's great. No, sorry, it's not English. It's it's English politics, but because of the so-called devolved governments of Scotland and Wales, they've got their own.
It's actually the City of London politics because they
I know,
you
but
fuckers.
it's UK English politics. English.
Yeah.
It governs the whole of England. Okay.
Right.
My area.
God save the Queen, I guess.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, man.
Anyway, that's what's happening over here. I'm more concentrating on what's happening over here because it affects me a lot, okay? And I voted in that referendum to get out of Europe because the sooner we're out, the better. We've got a free hand around the world. And also, of course, I was going to say this as well. I forgot.
It happens to the best of us, man. Don't sweat it.
I know. It's okay.
It's called CRS. Can't remember shit.
Exactly. Well, my head's full of it.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing.
You cheeky git. I'm only 40. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Where was I?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. See, I forgot again.
You're in England.
Brexit. I forgot to mention this, yeah. The thing about making a trade deal with the United States is we would have to accept your chlorinated chicken.
It ain't ours.
Chlorinated
we get
chicken.
it from China, dude. It ain't ours. All our shit comes from China. So.
Oh, great. So we'll be getting your chlorinated chicken from China.
Yeah, we ship them over there. This is what I understand now. These big corporations like Tyson Chicken and all these big they ship the birds over there alive. They're slaughtered over in China, washed and packaged, and then shipped back here. Explain that to me. And I don't get it. But anyway, that's where all the chlorinated chicken comes. They put fluoride in our fucking water. So what's a little chlorine, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was going to say anyway. There's a big hoo-ha in the UK because, hey, we got chlorinated washed chicken. So...
If you knew what a hoo-ha was over here in the US, you might have rephrased that. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, what? A hoo-ha?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Just keep going with your story, man.
An uproar.
Okay.
A hoo-ha is an uproar in the United Kingdom.
A hoo-ha is a... Never mind. Keep going.
Okay. Anyway. Have I said something wrong?
No, not at all. Go.
Okay, all right.
Keep go.
Right. Okay, basically, there's a big in the United Kingdom
kerfluffle
about about chlorinated chicken. Okay, and the fact that they don't want that in our country because in EU they don't have chlorinated chicken.
Do you guys not raise chicken over there yourselves? Don't you have farmers?
Yes, we do, but it's cheaper to buy it. It's like you and then China, it's cheaper to send over to China and bring it back.
Cheaper to buy it.
Yeah, well, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy, but still, it is. But we import it from Europe, okay? Because what we basically did is when we joined the European Union, is we allowed Europe to do everything for us. We never made any laws. We never made any shit. We just allowed Europe to run our country. Now we're leaving. It's oh my god. So we need to fend for ourselves, okay? And people are getting a bit pissed off about that.
You should start raising chicken. You should start selling holistic chicken.
Well, what we need to do is raise our own chickens, and in certain counties, and then having them cold, but it's supply and demand, you see. There's a lot of people in the United Kingdom that eat a lot of chicken. So
you don't have to sell it to everybody. Sell it to the people that'll pay your price. You know?
No.
Just advertise it out. Hey, man, I've got some holistic chickens for sale. If you guys want to eat your chlorine, go for it. If you want to eat one of my healthy chickens, then here's the price. Jump on that. That's called capitalism, baby.
I know. Here's the thing with chlorinated chicken, okay? Everybody's moaning about chlorinated chicken in the UK, and we've got to import it from America if we have a trade deal with America. That's part of the trade deal, to import chlorinated chicken. But what they don't realise is the idiots in this country who eat bags and bags and bags of ready-washed salads that's been washed in chlorinated water. And they don't cook that. They don't cook that. You cook a chicken that's been washed in chlorinated water, but you don't. It's ready washed, you empty it on your plate and you eat it straight from the bag. It's been washed in chlorinated water. I give up.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I rest my case.
Grow your own. Feed yourself.
Exactly.
That way you know what you're eating.
But a lot of people in this country won't do that. But a lot of people do because we are a nation of gardeners. England it's a nation of gardeners, and also Scotland and Wales. But the United Kingdom is a nation of gardeners. Thankfully, that's what won the war for us. Dig for victory.
Victory Gardens. We had those over here too.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. We're almost out of time. Another 35 minutes, 38 minutes. What do you got over there, David? I got a story if you don't.
No, this came out yesterday. It says Keystone Pipeline leaked 5,000 barrels of oil in South Dakota.
Not gallons, barrels.
Yeah, 5,000 barrels. And, this is what the Indians were fighting over here in North Dakota when they want to run it underneath the river over the Missouri River, which they did.
Yep.
They ran it through underneath there, and now the Indians are in an uproar, man. They're like, we told you.
It was leaking when they were having the protests going on. I am on the side of the Native Americans. I am absolutely on the side of the Native Americans.
Oh, I am
too. The only thing that I have to say to that, though, is that until you get the rest of this country to break out of their fucking slumber, nothing's going to happen. These corporations are going to continue to trod all over us and take the land that they want to take and blah, blah, blah. They run people out of their fucking neighborhoods and shit just so they can put a pipeline through. Man. I'm shaking my head. Go ahead. Keep going with the story, man.
It says there was a section of it that leaked. It says it was about 5,000 barrels or 210,000 gallons. They're lucky it was in a remote area of South Dakota. It's where they got lucky there. That's
210,000 gallons. That's probably 40 rail cars, if not more.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sure it's in a remote area. They'll probably just let it sit there and pretend they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
So
we're just letting it go back to nature.
Who knows with this stuff? It's always a question I pose. My brother, he works for the railroad, and he has for 10 years now or longer. But I asked him about the safety of cars, like oil tankers and stuff, and rail tankers, and he says they're safe. And I said, well, what's you safe for, a pipeline or transporting it by rail? I don't know. That's it. To me, it's a horse apiece. I mean, it's got to be moved somehow, but which way is safer? Mm. I mean, you get those bombs every so often go up on those trains when those cars break loose.
Yeah.
We had that one blow up right 15 miles west of me a couple years ago. We felt it all the way over here, man, and it shook the ground.
The only thing I can say about putting it on a truck and trucking it is that when a truck rolls over and spills its load, it's maybe 7,000 gallons. Rail cars are 40,000 gallons, and a train full of fucking rail cars is just, so the safest way, I think, would be go from the refinery to wherever it needs to be purchased on a truck. You know, that's because the spills are going to be much, much smaller. You know, when a pipeline ruptures.
I agree with that. They say the truck thing, they said it's a lot slower. That's why they don't move as much on trucks.
But trains don't go to every podunk little town in this country.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
so it's got to be on a truck eventually. Put it on a truck from its inception. That's my thoughts.
You know, I think they can move more by train than truck, I guess.
And same with the pipeline, man. That's why they want to stick these fucking pipelines everywhere. So.
Well, you know, this pipeline here, this Keystone, it's part of the what do I want to call that?
Keystone XL.
No, it's
tar sands.
I can't think of the name I'm looking for, but it's part of the partnership between the between Canada, America, and Mexico.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it is, man. The North American Free Trade Agreement or whatever.
Yeah,
NAFTA. It's part of NAFTA.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's part of. That's what Keystone's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody getting a piece of the pie.
Meanwhile,
they don't
all
care
of our
if this oil. They don't give a rat's ass if this oil leaks anywhere, man. They don't care.
No. Nope.
You know, look what happened over there. You know, with that oil well blowing up over the Gulf of Mexico. You know, several years ago. That didn't stop them from exploring
still deep water drilling,
pumping oil out in the Gulf of Mexico.
Right. Everybody paid attention to that one oil rig, and they didn't pay any attention to the 15 other ones that were sitting around within 5 miles of it. You know, it's just ridiculous, man. You get so far offshore, and then you start seeing them everywhere. You know, they don't let them put them close to shore because they don't want everybody, you know, bitching about, oh, we got to look at the fucking oil rigs, blah, blah, blah. They don't, so they put them off over the horizon a little bit so that you don't have to see them from the beach, right? But then once you get out past that little curve, if you want to think that the planet's round, right, the curve, you got it. Then you start seeing them everywhere. It's just ridiculous. And there's oil slicks on top of the Gulf all the time because they leak all the time. Nobody ever says
all
shit.
the time they're out there.
Yeah. And, you know, they don't give a damn about a little bit of oil when Fukushima's been puking radioactive water into the Pacific for 6 years straight with nobody doing anything about it. So, yeah, it's just more pollution on top of the pollution.
Yeah, I'm sure half of those oil well leaks out in the Gulf you don't even hear about. You know, they don't even tell you about.
Right. Oh, it was only 5,000 or 6,000 gallons. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they leak all the time. There'd be one in the news every single day if they reported them all.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay if I ask, has there been any seismic activity around Yellowstone recently? What with all the earth tremors around like South Korea and stuff like that, and the area of contention?
I haven't seen any big quakes from out of there. A couple weeks ago, there was a 4 point something, I think. That was the last one that I saw that was any major, you know, not even major.
That's a tremor for us.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I was just asking, see, with all the seismic activity around South Korea and Iran and Iraq and stuff like that in that area, I think something big's going to kick off soon. Really big. I mean, like a 9.0, like in Japan, that caused the big tsunami.
There's been a lot of meteorites lately, I've noticed.
Yeah, Lapland. Did you see that one?
Well, according to Lori, there's one's going to smash into Earth tomorrow, man. And Mark said something about it, too, in the room. So,
yeah.
Everybody keep your eye out tonight. You know, if there's a big bright light, don't look at it.
Well, it's like this. You know, this came out today. You know, I just happened to be looking here out of Copenhagen, Denmark. It says Finnish experts are scrambling to calculate the trajectory of a blazing fireball that lit up the dark skies of Arctic Finland for 5 seconds in an attempt to find the celestial body. It says
5 seconds? That's a long burn, man. That's a long burn. Go ahead.
It says this seems to have been one of the brightest ones we've had in a long time. And it said the alleged meteorite produced a blast wave that felt like an explosion at 6:40 p.m. and could be seen in northern Norway and in Russia's Kola Peninsula.
Wow. I want to see that video. I want to see that on video.
Yeah, I got the video right here.
Sweet. Drop it.
Yeah.
All right. Send it to you in Skype here.
Cool. Santa sightings.
It's the Daily Star.
Shit. Alrighty.
I think I would, personally, I would have a look at Dave's first, okay?
I think it's a video. I haven't watched it. It's embedded into the site, so I don't know if it looks like it might be.
Let me see. I'm pulling it up here. I'm going to try to get it on my... Man, fuck your ads. Click.
Hello.
God, jeez. Get off the screen. That's ridiculous, man.
I'm awfully sorry. It's it's shitty.
No, this is the one that Dave sent me.
Oh, all right. Well,
It's from KUTV in Salt Lake City, Utah.
all right.
Nope, there's no video on this one.
Yeah,
It goes it goes over to the BBC article.
So I haven't watched it, so I have no idea. I don't know if it's out there or not, if anybody's got a video of it or not.
All right, let me see if I can get this to play.
I'm awfully sorry. It's the Daily Star.
No, this is on BBC's.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That thing was banging away, boy. All right. Let me pull up my Skype thingy here. Or my OBS. And see if I can get this for y'all. Twink.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to talk about as well. After you've sent this, yeah.
All right.
I've had an idea. Yeah, I've to just remember the story I read, which is stuck on my Facebook page on my timeline. So.
All right. If you look over to I think it's up on the screen now. If you look over to the right hand side of that frame, this is on autoplay, so it's going to keep. Oh no! Wait a minute. Click. Let me play it again for you guys. Doink. All right, look over to the right-hand side over there where it says autoplay. That's where you're going to see the fireball go through the trees right there. You just saw it go by. That thing was lighting everything up, man. Look at the
it's a nice one.
Yeah, look at the huge amount of snow on top of that building too, man. Look at the huge amount of snow on top of that little cabin. That thing was burning for a minute. Boom, boom, coming apart too, man. Boom. Those big flashes. Whew. Awesome. Live from Lapland, it said. Very cool.
And I think it actually hit ground as well. So it is an asteroid, not a meteor. It's an asteroid.
Yeah, that's what they said they're looking for.
A meteorite.
Yeah.
If it hits the ground, it's a meteorite. If it hits...
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back to front. It's okay.
Yep. Asteroids and meteors are supposed to be two different things. Asteroids are supposed to be big ice balls. All right. So here's a story out of Vatican City that just dropped today or yesterday, I think. The Vatican said on Saturday it had opened an investigation. No, it dropped today. Into reports that a former teenage altar boy who allegedly repeatedly forced a dormitory mate to have sex with him went on to become a priest. Shocking, yes? The allegations concerning the St. Pius X Institute, known as a priest seminary, were made in a recent book and in Italian television reports. Priest seminary is a residence inside the Vatican for altar boys who serve at masses in St. Peter's Basilica, mostly presided over by priests, bishops, and cardinals. Pedophiles. At times, they also participate in papal liturgies, whatever the fuck that is. The boys go to Italian schools while they live in the Vatican, a sovereign city-state surrounded by Rome. The report said that despite complaints to superiors against the teenager, he was accepted into what is known as a major seminary when he became an adult. He was later ordained a priest and is now serving in a parish in northern Italy. The statement said an initial investigation in 2013 had resulted in no adequate confirmation of the alleged incidents. A new investigation has been opened following the latest reports in order to try to shed full light on what really happened. Right. That's the end of the story. Another priest doing boys in the butt.
I always wondered why altar boys always sung with a high voice. Now we know. Moving swiftly on. Yeah. Anyway, talk about bottoms.
Oh, God, here we go again. Go ahead.
Talk about bottoms. There was a story coming, or a story which I read, I think it was yesterday, about a Chinese person who was sent to hospital after inserting a eel up his bottom.
Ow.
I will show you the story. Hold on one second.
No, I don't. Nope, don't need to share that one. That was TMI already.
No, you've got to see to believe it.
No, don't have to see
you've
nothing.
Got to see,
nope.
You've got to see it.
Nope. Not interested. Moving on. Next story, David. Hopefully it's not an eel in somebody's ass.
What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I was going to say there's these big annual drills going on. Military drills we have. I think last year it was in Hawaii and this year it's in Oregon. And China and U.S. military is holding our 5th joint drills on humanitarian relief and disaster rescue. They're doing that. They did that this last week with all kinds of pictures of Chinese troops, American troops working together. And,
on the West Coast?
Yeah, in Oregon.
Oh, shit. Okay. West Coast quake, anybody?
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of seismic activity going on, and it's quite alarming.
You know the Chinese own the largest port on the West Coast, too, right? They bought it 2 years ago, I think. The largest seaport on the West Coast is owned by China.
Like last year, they had them in Hawaii, and they practiced like hurricanes and storms like that hitting, and China and America did drills on that.
And tsunami, yeah.
And tsunamis, and now they're over here moving to the West Coast even closer, holding drills there. So, you just wonder what the government really knows, man.
Or what they're planning.
Or that's what I mean, what they know, what they're planning.
Yeah. What is that fault up there off the Washington State coast?
San Andreas.
No, that's down in California.
Oh, sorry.
It's the Juan de Fuca plate. They said when it breaks loose, it's going to be a straight up shot of land. It's not going to be like a little rolling curl or whatever. The thing's going to pop straight up in the air and make a huge wave. So, yeah. There's been a couple of pretty decent shakers up there off the coast over the last couple of months. A couple of 5s and 6s. So, I don't know, man. Can't predict shit like that, right? They think they can, but they can't.
That one that hit South Korea the other day was the second biggest quake they've ever had over there in that area on the record books.
Yeah, I saw that
like
too. Kind of
5.2 or something like that.
Did they set off their own nuke?
Who knows? Maybe they did.
Just makes me wonder. All the shit going on over there. Or was there a missile strike that they didn't report or something? It just makes you wonder. Anyway, what else we got?
Well, North Korea came out yesterday and said that they're not going to stop their nuclear weapons program or their missile launches or any of that until they said they'd sit down and talk to us. We did a freeze for freeze. Basically, we stop our drills we have with Japan and South Korea, and they'll freeze their nuclear program. But Trump and Mattis and McMaster and Kelly, all of them said there'll never be a freeze for freeze because these are drills we need to have with our allies. So now North Korea says, screw you then. We're going to keep on going until you stop your drills and stop provoking us. And, China just sent an envoy over there the other day, and it's the first time China has sent an envoy over there in 2 years. And they said this envoy, is basically going over there to speak to Little Kim and explain to him the new Chinese parliamentary elections they just had and how all the new party, and explain to him all that. And, it was kind of being pressed that maybe, after Trump had been over in China the other day, that China, was going to do something about Little Kim and send a guy over there and lay the law down. Well, it came out tonight that their Chinese envoy didn't even bring up nuclear tests or weapons tests to them. And that basically it was just give them a present from the Chinese president and explain to them about the new Chinese Congress. Come on, Bill. So China didn't even press them to give up nukes. So now the ball's back in Trump's court. Little Kim told him, hey, we're not stopping until you stop drills. Well, if we're not going to stop drills, then we're going to have to make a decision, I guess. I think that's what it'll come down to. I don't think we'll see a war with North Korea right away. I think it'll start over between Iran and Israel and Saudi Arabia and Hezbollah. I think we'd see a big war over there first, in my opinion.
Dave, personally, the way I see it is North Korea is being supported by China. China is stuck between a rock and a hard place. They're stuck between America and they're stuck between North Korea. They need to support North Korea because if they don't support North Korea, they will lose out big time.
Who?
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Who are you talking about, China?
Trump is... Yeah, China. Trump is pushing on China to alleviate North Korea into a different path. They're not going to do that. They can't do that. Well, they can't do that with Kim, young Kim. They used to be able to do that with the older Kim Jong-il, but they can't do that with Kim Jong-un. He's younger. He's got a different mindset. He's got a different idea for his country. And China is... in some respects, I feel sorry for China because they've been pressured by Trump. But there again, they've got cards in their hands, like we have with Brexit. We've got our cards in our hands, and we've got a big hand to play. So of China, they can say to America, look, fine, great. We've had enough of you. We are going to dump you. Okay?
They're already doing it.
And I know, yeah, but they can do it fully. And they can bring the BRICS in, can't they?
They will.
They have a backup which will hurt America. And the more Trump pushes China to go against North Korea, the more it will weaken Trump's hand, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree with all that, man.
Absolutely.
China's not going to give up North Korea. They don't want us over here, but at the same time, they don't want American tanks over on the the Yellow River over there across their border. So they are in a hard place. They're like, and they're not going to tell Kim to give up his nukes because that keeps us out of there. And right now, I think China's a little leery of Trump. Trying to figure out his mindset. 'Cause he's so fucking unstable that they don't know what to do. Is this dude really going to fucking come over here and start a war? Or is he just talking shit like the past 3 other presidents?
His ego's putting pressure on his brain.
Obviously our military thinks that he's serious, or this military general wouldn't have came out yesterday and said, no, I'm not going to do it.
I see a stalemate because
it's been a stalemate for 50 fucking years.
I know, yeah, but I see a further stalemate.
Oh,
see,
yeah. No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's an old saying that you cannot change a system from within the system. You have to create a new system that makes the old one obsolete. And that's exactly what all of these other countries that are involved with the BRICS have done. They're tired of the monetary system. They're tired of these trilateral commissions. They're tired of the fucking Federal Reserve printing money willy-nilly. So they created their own system called the BRICS. And it is going to push the dollar into the dirt. It's already there, but I mean, it's going to finish it off. It's going to drive the final nail in it, And because the rest of the world's done with us, man. They're done with us pushing our fucking shit on everybody and trying to get them to buy Nike T-shirts and whatever the fuck else. You know, they're done with all that shit. They're done with it.
Oh, yeah, I see that too, man. They are. The world's finished with us.
They're tired of the petrodollar delegating everything around the world. And
you know, Saudi and Israel are fixing to go their own way and do their own thing because Trump really hasn't concentrated on the Middle East that much. You know, he didn't fight Putin. He just gave up. Said, "There you go, Russia. Go ahead and take it. We don't give a shit." You know, and you know that's the deal. And not that I don't agree with that. It's just we've been running the Mideast for ages, man. It ain't as easy as just walking away from it, and it's not our problem anymore. That's not the way it works. With us being over there as long as we have, no way. You just can't walk away like that without repercussions. Right. Israel and Saudi are fixing to act on their own. They don't give a shit what fucking Trump has to say. You know, Saudi looks at the petrodollar's fucking gone. And
their country's going away too, bro.
Their own thing.
Their country's going away too. There's going to be internal strife there.
Saudi's going to take a beating in this too, but they're willing to take the chance. And if they're crazy enough to do it, then so be it. I think Saudi and Israel are hedging their bets that if they start a war with Iran and Hezbollah at the same time, that we'll come in there with them. You know, I think they're hedging their bets on that. They want to drag us into something major with Russia over there.
Yeah. I think America have got a lot to play in the Middle East at the moment still. See, if you notice, every time that Jared Kushner, that person that, I find him so creepy, goes over there, he comes back and there's a big thing happening in the Middle East. It's a bit like
he'll go to prison for
Tony
that
Blair.
one of these days.
It's just like Tony Blair, the Middle East peace envoy. Goes over to the Middle East and
Blair?
Kicks off. Yeah, Tony Blair.
God, man. He was one of the most corrupt people you guys ever put out.
I know, yeah. And he used to be our Prime Minister, and I voted for him. So there you go.
Shame on you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was doing good for our country.
Whatever.
And that's what I was voting for.
He was lining his pockets, man. Come on. Whatever.
I know, but it was helping the NHS and keeping people well.
What? Okay, whatever.
Okay. It was giving grassroots service, which our government are not doing.
Okay.
Well, you know, Israel's pissed over there right now because Trump hasn't honored his word of moving the capital over to Jerusalem.
Oh yeah, well,
and they're pissed about that. And Netanyahu is starting to lose his faith in Trump being as pro-Israeli as he said he was. You know, and so Israel is getting ready to finally just do their own thing with Saudi Arabia.
I think it's like Jared Kushner. I don't like him.
No, I think he's behind it. Don't get me wrong. I think he's with Saudi part at least. But the deal is,
we don't need to be giving any more money to Israel, man. I'm so tired of listening to people. Oh, Israel's our best friend in the Middle East. Israel. Oh, fuck those people, man. Fuck.
Well, you know, Netanyahu's pissed because Trump ran his whole election with Israel with AIPAC, you know, the biggest Jewish lobbyist committee in
lining
DC.
his pockets, man, lining his pockets so that they had a pawn in the White House.
Move your capital to Jerusalem, and then all of a sudden he backs away from it, and Israel's pissed.
Wah. Because they didn't get to steal another piece of land from the Palestinians.
And Saudi and Israel both want Iran gone for their own various reasons. But
I keep telling you, people, one of these days you're going to figure it out. The House of Saud is a Jewish sect of people. All you have to do is look at their facial structure and take the turban off, and you can see it plain as day. The House of Saud spawned from Israel.
How about Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe, you know, that really ain't that really isn't a big deal. They're giving that Mugabe till tomorrow.
Yeah, he's 90. He's 90-some fucking years old, man. Give him a couple of weeks, he'll be dead.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. You know, yeah, the military took it over in a bloodless coup, but I mean, who are they on the grand stage of anything? They're not anybody.
Well, yeah, but we like that water down there, man. You know, one of those.
There's some impoverished, they're in another African impoverished nation over there,
They got to have something
our
in the
main
ground.
concern
It
is
never
over.
was.
There's something
It
in
used to be a British enclave.
Yeah, because the British Empire bought everything they get their hands on by turning people into
China's
slaves.
really getting big into Africa now and stuff. So
because they know that's where everything's going. The Bushes went down there and bought a huge tract of land right in the middle of the fucking country that sits over one of the biggest freshwater aquifers in that country. So, and then as far as Zimbabwe goes and Mugabe, there's something in the ground there that we want control of. Otherwise, we wouldn't be there.
I don't think it's America. I think it's more United Kingdom because the English farmers who used to be there used to supply a lot of tobacco and stuff like that. They used to farm a lot of tobacco. Before Mugabe started the land grab over there, the country used to be a very, very wealthy nation. And it still is the most highly educated nation in the whole of Africa.
Is that what you read in your local paper?
No.
Oh, okay. Just
That's
checking.
what I read online.
I know France is real interested in Mali over there for diamond mines over there.
That's because
That's what I'm saying.
Mali is a French enclave.
Something's got to be in the ground, man. There's oil, there's some kind of strategic metal, there's something in the ground there they want.
Well, it seems like America's more interested in Mogadishu over there still. After that Black Hawk Down incident stuff, when we pulled out for a while, now we sent troops back over there again, and we're doing more drone strikes over there now, and
because we got to bomb freedom into them, right?
And also, have you heard the first ISIS strike in India in Kashmir was done tonight? It was announced on the Armak news agency that an ISIS attack had been launched in Kashmir.
Wow. All right. Here's one story that I want to get to before we run out of time. For everybody listening to me, I warned you when these things started up not to fall into the trap. I'm sure some of you did, but anyway, here you go. Sending a sample of your DNA through the post may seem like a harmless and novel way of tracing your ancestry, and millions of Americans have already done so, but there's a more sinister side to the relatively new enterprise. Shocker. If you're suspected of a crime, police can, if they have a warrant, request your access to your DNA profile from both Ancestry and 23andMe. The latter has received 5 requests for customer information from law enforcement, although the company says it did not comply with any of these requests. I doubt that. As the 5 requests resulted in 0 information provided, we resist all requests. For perspective, 5 requests with over 3 million customers is 0.0002% worth of requests in 11 years. That's less than rare. 23andMe spokesman Andy Kill, his last name's Kill, Kill, told RT.com. Though the company hasn't ruled out providing information to authorities in the future, ding, 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 we would always review a request and take it on a case-by-case basis. Privacy officer Kate Black told WJAX on Thursday. Ancestry.com, however, has complied with such requests. Of the 9 made by authorities for customer info in 2016, the company provided information in 8 of those cases, according to the company's transparency report. However, the company stressed to RT.com that these requests were not related to DNA profiles. Rather, they were all with regards to things like account data that could be useful in credit card fraud investigations. Right. It's not just your DNA cops can request. Even if you haven't given into the temptation of trying to pinpoint your long-lost ancestors, your relatives could also get you in trouble, as was the case for Michael Usry Jr. Usry Jr. was a prime suspect in the cold case murder of an 18-year-old Angie Dodge. The Idaho Falls police got a warrant to use Ancestry's database to solve the crime. It found Usry Sr.'s DNA, which closely matched the DNA at the crime scene. Police then got a warrant for Usry's own DNA in 2017. He was cleared of any involvement in the murder, however. Ancestry explained it does not share information with law enforcement unless compelled to by valid legal process, such as court orders or search warrants. It said in Usri's case, the DNA was a part of a database we purchased that was an open and publicly available research resource at the time we bought it. After this case, we made the database private to help protect the privacy of our customers. That's the end of that story. So, asking just on a whim, how many people in my chat room tonight have sent their DNA to one of these two agencies, Ancestry or 23andMe? Just comment in the room if you have. Has anybody on the mic done this? Trying to find out where you came from?
Not me.
I think JR had to go poop or something, so he's not on.
My wife has, and her sister has, and her mom has, but not me.
Really? Mercy. Make sure you pass her that story, will you?
No, she already knows, and I told her, and I don't care.
Well, we're getting a lot of not me's in the room. That's good. That's good. That's good. Todd added, no fucking way. Yeah, I knew as soon as it came out, I was like, yeah, that's a federal agency. When Ancestry.com started pushing all those ads, every time you brought up a YouTube video for probably a year, they had that fucking Ancestry.com commercial on there. The 23andMe, I've only heard about that through some other videos and stuff that I watch. I haven't seen them advertised anywhere. But yeah, I saw it right from the beginning that it was a scam. It was a huge way to collect everybody's DNA. Everybody's DNA. Then they make a clone of you and then off your ass and have the clone take your place.
Well, that one registry, not 23andMe, that other one you're talking about, it's out of Salt Lake, Utah, that goes to the Mormons, and the Mormons have the biggest DNA base there is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They got DNA on just about everybody, man, and any little bit of DNA gets sent to them, and it's just weird how like the Mitt Romneys and stuff control the
creepy fuckers. That's all you gotta say.
Right.
Creepy fuckers.
If you want to trace your own ancestry, you can do it yourself. It's not easy, but it's called investigation and getting off your bottom and going out and.
Man, you can't do that if you're adopted. I'm adopted. I don't know who my parents are.
All right.
So
there's
certain people that can't just look up a family tree.
I understand that. Well, I didn't realize that you were adopted, but for people like yourself, then it will be difficult.
Right.
But for people who are not adopted, who do have a lineage attached to their family, then it would be simple just to go to their parish or their church or their area of birth and getting their, start with your death and birth certificates and stuff like that, and marriage certificates.
David Howard just brought up a good point in the room. If you give blood, you're probably going into the system too. They probably keep a little drop of it.
It only takes a little bit. See, my brother has blood tests once a month. He has to, because he has a problem with his blood. Okay, but what say they're not using those to profiling?
Right.
Which is very easily done, but he needs to have that done for his health.
Right.
Okay. But
don't trust him, man. Don't trust him.
No, but you have to sometimes, you have to do it for your own health. You have to do it. And I know my lineage, because it was researched, was from Pennsylvania in America.
Thanks for coming by, Mark. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. And we're just about out, man. We got 60 seconds. Anything crossing, breaking news, anything, David?
No, ain't nothing here, man.
No? Okay.
That DNA, I know the VA's got mine. If you're a vet and you go to the VA, they got your DNA.
They got everybody's DNA that's ever enlisted.
Even just joining the military, they got your DNA.
Yep. National Guard, they hold all that shit. They keep it all on file. So yeah, they got a pretty good plethora of information on most everybody in the country. You know, even
that's
just
why they made Facebook.
Well, yeah, that too. But even just how many people do you know that don't have a cell phone? They can track your every move off of that cell phone. They can find out where you're purchasing shit, where you're calling, who you're talking to, where you're going in your car.
I don't have a smartphone.
Yeah. It's just, they got us by the short hairs, man. So that's just the way it goes. But, all right, it's 10 o'clock. It's time to play the song to go out on. So I hope you guys are enjoying the music. I really love these guys. DestinyLab.com if you're interested in getting any of this music. I appreciate them letting me use it for my show. David, thanks for coming on, man. JR, thanks for coming on. I appreciate
Thank you,
both
Jimmy,
of you
for
guys.
having
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks to all you guys in the chat room for coming by every week. You're the ones that keep me doing this. Everybody that can get a hold of Lance, get a hold of him and tell him that he's a fucking slacker. And yeah, maybe next time, next Wednesday, Prepper Chicks will be able to stay on a little longer than an hour or so. All right. With all that being
Cheers,
said,
Jimmy. Thank you for having me on, by the way.
cheers, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Take
See
care,
you guys.
guys.
All right. Here we go with the outro. Have a good Sunday, everybody. Love, peace, and cookies.
The evolution theory did not start with Charles Darwin. It started way before that. It actually started in the Garden of Eden with Satan when he said to Eve in Genesis chapter 3, Eve, if you eat off that tree, ye shall be as gods. The whole idea that man can progress and evolve and become better, is an idea that came from the devil in the Garden of Eden. Darwin simply made the theory popular.
Historical examination, investigate for solid ground and foundation. We dissect the infection, cut it out if it fits with the intentions of Satan. Illuminate the deceptions, point them out and expose them for causing stagnation. They imitate education and invade the system like an infestation. We present explanations, annihilate and confiscate abominations. Shine light on illusions and inspire young minds to arrive at conclusions. We connect with corrected connections, then collect and reflect on the questions. Develop skills using scriptures as weapons. Sword at the spirit at my side for protection. Stand firm in my helmet of salvation and meditate on Ephesians 6:10.
Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation? Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation?
We suspect and expect some tensions. Flex my rhymes like muscles and tendons. Next lesson, course of session. First impressions, advertise perplexing. Educate with creation. With the Bible at our sides, it's truth domination. We battle demons from other dimensions. They make inventions with evil intentions. Not to mention they take possession on the battleground. They enter human beings through deception. Object to the voice when you see reflections. Called to the witness stand for inspection. Natural selection, fact or fiction. Examine the questions, don't get fished in. Education of delusion. Bait and switch from the micro to the macro evolution. Let's arrive at solutions using the word of God to eliminate confusion.
Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation? Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation?
Nobody's ever proven a good mutation. Some people say, well, bacteria become resistant to drugs. I said, yeah, that's because they lost information. It's like, somebody's coming through town and they're handcuffing everybody, hauling them off to jail, going to kill them. But you don't have any arms, so they can't handcuff you. You say, wow, that's beneficial. Well, it might be beneficial for the moment, but it's not beneficial in the long term, okay?